What's good, family? What's happening, man? It's another night, another day. I'm coming at you with another live stream. We got some topics to talk about. Excuse my energy, y'all. Let me get a little time to get up into this, get my energy right. I'm a little low right now, but we're gonna get right. So, as always, just rock with me. I'm gonna make sure everything is right. Give you guys a little bit of time to come in, but as always, nothing's changed. Y'all can see the topic below. You know what I'm saying? Things over here, it's over here. Y'all see what we talking about. So if y'all interested in the topic, stay in the chat. Keep it respectful. Keep it boxing. If you're not, y'all can go ahead and head your way on out of here. But this is what we're gonna be discussing. I would love to hear you guys' opinion on it. So please hop in the chat and have a little patience. Alright guys, I like how the sounds, coming out. It sounds good, so I got no complaints when it comes to that as always. BlakGooseTV, Mr. Positivity is here. You can also call me Fluence. As you can see, I got the Deontay Wilder Olympic qualifications fight going on right now. This is the young gun right here, man. Before he was seasoned. And I got this up because obviously we're talking about Wilder, right? A lot of rumors going around when it comes to Wilder. Shout out to Combat Kaiser. He has this video up on his YouTube channel, so you guys go ahead and check out his YouTube channel if you want to see this full fight, right? Here's an old fight of Tyson Fury when he was fighting for the Olympics back in 2007. Try and keep you guys entertained for a little bit while we're going to go ahead and build this up slowly but surely. Once again, apologize for my energy. I'm going to get it right as we go on. It's just one of those days, but I'm never too tired or never too low to talk about boxing, especially when there's rumors going around like it's going around now. So if you guys can't see, you should be able to. The title is over. You see what we talk about. Tyson Fury's talking that shit about Deontay Wilder, which makes sense because we have Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder coming up in February. Dillian Whyte has been talking a lot of shit when it comes to Deontay Wilder because he's been the mandatory for how many days now, whatever days it may have been, over 2 years. And the way they're talking shit is they're trying to release old information, old news. Does any of this matter? Does anyone care, right? We're going to talk about this right here. We're going to talk about Dillian Whyte calling Deontay Wilder a coward. Those are strong words, man. Over 800 days, Dillian Whyte has held the belt, and he feels like Deontay Wilder is a coward because he's ducking him. What do you guys think about this? As always, there's a topic. Give me a little time. I'm going to let people have a chance to at least come in here if they want to. We're not starting yet, but we will be starting soon. I appreciate everybody. Throw a like, throw a subscribe. You already know. Y'all see that? Peace. So we're gonna start talking about the topic soon, guys. Same thing every night whenever I do these lives. little time. How you guys' day been? How you guys been enjoying your week? It's the beginning of the week. It is Tuesday though. I'm happy. I seen the 5150 show going live, so I'm definitely gonna be watching that. Maybe after this. How excited are you guys for the Cowboy McGregor fight? You guys can see that. Well, you probably can't see it, but in my little feed on my YouTube, showing the UFC 246 countdown is gonna be coming up. So, how are you guys excited about that? But rock with me, y'all.
You killed this shit. And that's the difference. When I see the money, all I think about is business. Why I to be acting with emotion like a business? With that I be rolling with the rolling, I be dripping, yeah, money business.
If you ever want to check out any of our music, go to soundcloud.com/BlakGooseTV. Everything is there. Everything is free. We also have some songs on our YouTube page as well. Check out the Facebook.com/BlakGoose. We're going to go ahead and start after this song right here, and we'll get into it, okay? If you guys want to know what we're talking about, once again, y'all can see what the title is. Appreciate y'all being here. Please throw a like. Please throw a subscribe. It means a lot. It means a lot for the content. It means a lot for anything getting out there. It also helps support the page if you're appreciating it. And then please also jump into the chat if you feel any type of way. So we're going to be starting real soon, guys. We're actually going to be taking a look at this particular interview right here that Dillian Whyte posted up. It says, "Have had enough of this year. I want the bag at Eddie Hearn. Let's make the biggest fights possible. Entertain the fans." We're going to talk about that. Dillian Whyte versus Andy Ruiz, possible? This though, right here, we're going to talk about that. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Please throw a like, please throw a subscribe. It means a lot. We're going to be starting as soon as the song ends. So if you're here to hear anything that we're talking about, you got here just in time. Y'all see what we talking about? It's right here. Please remember, if you're in the chat, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We haven't started talking about the topic yet, but we are about to start as soon as this song ends. Alright? A little bit of old school footage of Deontay Wilder back when he was in the Olympics. Much different life. You can see how much he's improved. Much more patience, believes in his power. IQ is just beautiful, family. Alright, y'all, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and start this live stream off right, okay? First and foremost, if you want to check out any of the music we have, soundcloud.com/BlakGooseTV. Our Facebook is facebook.com/BlakGoose. Please keep supporting the channel. We do have a lot of improvements coming in the future. So remember that at the very least, we're going to stay consistent. And what does that mean? We're going to keep putting out anything we can that we feel is at least interesting when it comes to the world of sports. You know what I'm saying? And obviously expand beyond that as well. This weekend we're going to be going live for the McGregor Cowboy card. And we're also going to be going live for the Dillian Williams fight as well. So if y'all fuck with any of those, please hop in. So let's get right to this. Once again, we're going to be talking about Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte. They have a lot of choice words for Deontay Wilder. When you look at the heavyweight division, obviously Anthony Joshua is the #1 guy. In my opinion, for a brief moment, I felt like Deontay Wilder had took the throne when Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz, and then Deontay Wilder knocked out Dominic Breazeale. I felt like in that short time, Deontay Wilder was the man, and that's when his popularity grew to a substantial level. Obviously, his popularity grew immensely when he fought Fury, but I think him being able to just duplicate what he did, not necessarily against Fury, but what he's basically known for, besides the Fury fight, even though there was obviously shades of that in the Fury fight. Just Fury got up, but he showed that in the Breazeale fight who he really is, and I think that just grew his popularity even more because at that time, in my opinion, he was #1 strictly because of the people who were watching when it came to the fact that AJ lost. So now they were like, well, I guess we have no other choice but to see what Wilder or Fury is like. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people had skepticism and doubts that AJ would be able to get his belt back. Now, fast forward to now, AJ has his belt back, so AJ is once again #1, and this Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury fight is basically, in my opinion, we're deciding who's the #2 guy and who's going to have that next shot at AJ, because I don't care what Fury says, I think whoever wins this fight, especially if it's convincingly, in a sense, we'll still get a third fight in my opinion, but I think after this fight, they're going to be chasing that AJ fight, and then after the AJ fight, they'll probably revisit that third fight. But that's just speculation now, okay? What we're really going to be talking about is the fact that in this heavyweight race, I feel like Wilder is the one out of many that has taken the most slander and basically has taken the most negative comments, or has been looked at as if he's not worthy, right? That's just my opinion. If you disagree with me, let me know why you feel that way, but that's my opinion on this particular topic. And we see that because we see Tyson Fury coming at him. Tyson Fury obviously should be coming at him because he's going to fight him, but Dillian Whyte's coming at him. Dillian Whyte has every right to, because like he said himself, let's go ahead and go to this post right here. Deontay Wilder is a coward because he's been a challenger for over 800 days. If you don't know how many years that is, that's over two years. So I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, we have to realize though, Dillian Whyte isn't the best option business-wise for Deontay Wilder. We know that. He knows that. The fans know this, but because Deontay Wilder does seem to get a certain type of slander, or he's looked at in a certain type of way because everyone feels he's ducking AJ rather than AJ possibly ducking him. I don't believe in the word ducking, even though I'm using it, but this is the narrative that's been put out there. So I'm going to say it because it's what people think, and because of that case, regardless of what Deontay Wilder chooses as basically as his decision overall, is always criticized negatively because they don't seem to see how he's looking at it either from a long-term aspect or a business aspect that works out best for his brand, his pockets, his money, his team, his promotion, right? And I understand it, because when it comes to being a fan, you don't look at things logically. Most of the time you look at it emotionally, because you know you're a fan of the situation, so you can't blame a fan for that. But if you want the truth, if you want the raw, if you want the real, that's why you here, because that's all we look at everything from, is just what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this live off with a interview. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys already saw it already if you clicked on this. It's from January 8, 2020. It's from Sky Sports Boxing. And he just has some, he has some words to say about Deontay Wilder. So check this out. Please, once again, throw a like, throw a subscribe, whichever one you want to do. It's no extra work. It means a lot for the channel. Let's go ahead and listen to this.
So the Christmas presents, I mean, you've got there Deontay Wilder's WBC belt, sort of identical replica of. So this is
It's the same. They just made two of them. It's the same. So it's the same belt.
Right. Okay.
They just made two of them.
Why do they make two? Why do they? I thought there was only just
they
one.
know I should rightfully be WBC.
Right. Okay. Okay. But this is the thing, isn't it? That you are the mandatory challenger. But where are we at in terms of a world title fight being lined up then?
Deontay Wilder still being a coward and still running as usual. You know, I've been #1 challenger for 800 days. You know, and I'm still #1 challenger. And right, so I fought more top 15 and top 10 opponent than he done as a champion. You know, obviously, decent. You know, he's a good champion. He's got punch power, as we just see there. But you know, Luis Ortiz is 1,000,000 years old. You know.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop it right there. If you guys want to see the rest of that interview, please, you already know where to find it. It's one of the biggest boxing channels on YouTube, Sky Sports Boxing. I'm gonna go ahead and go back over to Dillian Whyte's Instagram page, and I'm gonna show this picture right here, Calvert. So this is what this whole post was from. He says, "Congratulations to Bronze Bomber, who has been awarded a special belt by WBC Boxing, WBC World's biggest Calvert belt, to be known as a WBC belt for successfully avoiding me as his official #1 ranked challenger for over 800 days." Now, if you guys were here earlier, you would see. I'm just go ahead and go to it for you, just in case you guys didn't see this. Right here, he is saying, "Last year was hell for me. Too much changes and too much negativity and trying to be more relaxed and less savage. That ends now. I'm back on my maximum violence and rage." Where do you get in that fluence? One more thing for you guys, right here. See what he said. "Let's go, baby. It's plain and simple. Whoever won it can get it. This year, all I care about is the big fights and title straps season." What did he say? I'm going to go ahead and play it so you guys can hear it.
But I've got another heavyweight who wants to fight Alexander Povetkin in June, if he wants it.
Listen, after last week, I know you're not sure of words.
So Whyte wants Povetkin. What's good with it, Michael Johnson, man? Appreciate you hopping in the chat, man. Go ahead, whatever you need to say, man. Say if you got any opinion on this topic. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? It makes it that more entertaining. If you guys aren't here, go ahead and drop a like. It means a lot. Go ahead and drop a subscribe. It means a lot. You know what I'm saying? So let's finish this.
Your take on that. Listen, I just seen him in there. He's a good, strong fighter. But listen, I know what I need to do to beat him. He does a good jab and he'll beat Povetkin all day long. Then, would you fight him next? Yeah, I'll fight him next. I just told him. He said he'll fight me next. Eddie said we'll make it. Let's make it. Let's do it. I'm ready.
So, what I get from that right there is most likely we're going to see a Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povetkin fight in 2020 before we see a Dillian Whyte versus Andy Ruiz fight, which I would most preferably want to see. A lot of people were speculating that there's a possibility Andy Ruiz may not come back this year. He's coming back in May. I'm going to get more into that later in the stream. Right now we're focusing on more so the slander that is coming toward Deontay Wilder's way. So let's get a little bit more into it. And so I showed you those two particular posts from from Dillian Whyte. If you want to include this one, that's 3, because there's a reason why he said the things he said in that interview. He knows now is the time for him to try and get the biggest fight because he's with this guy right here, Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is now a very prominent promoter in the boxing world, maybe #1 now, over Al Heyman and over Bob Arum, some would argue. So he's in a place where he can now talk the way he's talking and feel, you can't come at me in no way because I'm with Eddie Hearn. And if I tell Eddie Hearn I want this fight, Eddie Hearn's going to do everything possible to make it. Yep. Anthony Willis just said, I just read that Hearn offered Ruiz another big bag of money for Whyte. Anthony Willis is absolutely correct about that. The article I wanted to get into doesn't necessarily say that, but it supports his theory because they are pushing for the Dillian Whyte versus Andy Ruiz fight much more than the Povetkin fight. But it's hard for me to see that happening because I just don't. It's too much risk for Andy Ruiz to take that fight, especially with Andy Ruiz with Al Heyman. I feel like they're going to try and maybe keep it within the PBC family for his next fight. Me personally, I don't think they're going to try and do another cross-promotional fight. Like, I only see cross-promotional fights happen if it's worth the money. You know what I'm saying? Povetkin versus Whyte is a good fight, but I agree with you. I'm like, especially for you to call Ortiz old in this clip right here, the one I showed you guys off of Sky Sports Boxing, right here saying he's 1,000,000 years old. I don't agree with that. Whether he's old or not, his boxing skill is evident, and we know Ortiz is probably top 5 when it comes to boxing skill in the heavyweight division. And we know Povetkin is not better than Ortiz right now. For you to call Ortiz old, Povetkin's old. So y'all see how this, you know what I'm saying? You already see that, you know. the hypocriticalness in Dillian Whyte. And it's not me bashing Dillian Whyte. I'm a fan of Dillian Whyte, but we also understand where all this talk is coming from. He wants that Deontay Wilder fight because that's the money fight. Hunter versus Povetkin was a draw, so what does that say for Whyte if he beats Povetkin? Exactly. And some would argue, I watched that fight, Hunter versus Povetkin. There was a small possibility we could have leaned toward Hunter. I thought it was a good call for a draw, but I actually had Hunter winning by maybe like 1 round, possibly 2. My boy Zen, he actually had it. He said it was going to be called a draw, even though he had Hunter winning by maybe like 1 round. But he said it was going to be called a draw. It ended up being a draw. So I don't like Whyte versus Povetkin, but at the same time, you got to understand Whyte versus Povetkin makes sense because one, Dillian Whyte is just coming off of being cleared from that whole drug debacle. So he's been cleared from that. He took a short notice fight in his last fight. And so it would only make sense for him to kind of get a warm-up fight into the new year against someone like Povetkin, especially also someone Anthony Joshua beat himself. So if Wilder can beat Povetkin in better fashion than AJ, that puts him in a much better position than fighting someone like Ruiz, where if he loses, you know what I'm saying, he's kind of back down to the bottom of the pole. But if he beats Ruiz, where does that place him? Because either way it goes, Dillian Whyte is the number one. He's a mandatory. You know what I'm saying? So as much as they're saying they want the Ruiz fight, maybe is it all talk? Possibly. I don't think it's all talk. I think Whyte wants it. But at the same time, I think Whyte versus Povetkin is going to happen first. That's all speculation. What do you guys think about that? I want to know what you guys think about that. But I'm going to go real quick. I'm going to go back into the topic. I'm going to finish this real quick. And it just has to do with Dillian Whyte slandering Deontay Wilder's name. And not necessarily slander, because it is real. It's not a lie, right? So here is an old, this is from Watcher YouTube channel, March 1, 2019. This is old sparring footage from Wilder and Klitschko in training camp in 2012. Everyone knows Wilder and Wilder and Klitschko were sparring partners, back in the day. Wilder damn near sparred with everyone. And Klitschko damn near sparred with all the up-and-comers. That's one thing he was known for. I agree, Willis. I agree. That's important. And that's why I think, if you're going to look at it from a business aspect, that's why I see Dillian Whyte versus Povetkin happening I see that being much more likely than, obviously, Dillian Whyte versus Andy Ruiz. Because Dillian Whyte has to come in great shape for that. And then also, you guys got to think about this. If Dillian Whyte fights Andy Ruiz, where are they going to make the fight? Al Heyman's going to win it in the States. Eddie Hearn's going to win it in the UK, while if Whyte fights Povetkin, we already know it's going to be in the UK. So I just don't see the money being worth all the hassle when trying to get the Whyte versus Andy Ruiz fight happening. But we're still going to talk about it because that's what everyone's talking about and there being a possibility. So shout out to Watcher for that short little clip. I'm going to go to another one for you guys. It's kind of the same thing, sparring footage back from the 2012 training camp, because Tyson Fury confirms Deontay Wilder was knocked out by Klitschko. Dillian Whyte was the first one to say anything about it. The reason why Dillian Whyte came out and said this, we kind of were going over it earlier in the video. If you guys are just now getting here, basically Whyte is on his, I want every big fight this year no matter what. I'm talking shit, no matter what it takes, I want that fight. He's basically on his Big Baby Miller. If you want to be real, I'm like, Big Baby Miller been doing this. He ain't do nothing for Big Baby because Big Baby don't got no promoters behind him. But we're going to talk about that because now he has Top Rank behind him. So we got another up-and-comer coming up. So we got Dillian Whyte wanting to get it. We're going to have Big Baby coming. So, and then shout out to the KTN Network for this video right here that I'm showing. Always got to give respect to anything I'm showing. Don't want to be like this, I'm stealing anything. That's not what I'm doing. We're talking about this. We're having an educational discussion about this. So please drop your opinion in the chat. Shout out to Anthony Willis, Michael Johnson. Drop a like, subscribe. It means a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this right here. So what you see right here, this is technical sparring. This is technical drilling, okay? And I alluded to this earlier. Basically what I was alluding to was the fact that if you follow Deontay Wilder's career, you know Wilder was essential in Klitschko's training camp back in about 2008, 2007, 2008 to maybe all the way up to 2013. I'm gonna show you guys the old footage on YouTube also, where Wilder was helping out David Haye as well. So for me, I hate when I hear people try to slander another fighter by saying he got knocked out in sparring. If you training with one of the greats, and one of the greats knows you're not as good as him yet, he's bringing up and comers, he's bringing up young guys that he knows are going to be great later on in boxing for a reason. That's just a learning experience, and we're still talking sparring. Like, if you watch a lot, like you never seen a hard sparring footage from Klitschko, but Klitschko, both the Klitschko brothers are very technical spars, so it's hard for me to think of just a KO or someone just lying dead or something. I think it's more maybe like a ring your bell type of thing. But Michael Johnson, Boxing Talking More, said, "It is not if Wilder was knocked out. It is why does it matter if it's true? Happened before Wilder was a champ." So that's crazy. So I didn't even read the comment yet, and you basically said exactly what I was getting at. Like, who cares? He's sparring against literally one of the greatest, you know what I'm saying? Some would argue, probably top 10 heavyweights of our decade. If you're talking about our decade now, remember decade, okay? I'm not saying all time, but of our decade, top 5, top 10 heavyweight. But it has to be top 5 maybe. No, not top 10 probably. But either way it's going, I'm like, you're an up-and-comer, you don't know as much as him, you don't have the same experience, so what is the big deal? And so that just shows me, that further supports the notion of this. I'm going to play this one more time for you guys, all right? This further supports the notion, if you guys can't see what he said, let's go, baby. It's plain and simple. Whoever won it can get it. This year, all I care about is the big fights and title strap season. Dillian Whyte is frustrated. He wants recognition. Check it out.
But I've got another heavyweight who wants to fight Alexander Povetkin in June, if he wants it.
Listen, after last week, I know you're not sure on words. Your take on that. Listen, I just seen him in there. He's a good, strong fighter. But listen, I know what I need to do to beat him. He does need a good jab, and he'll beat Povetkin all day long. Would you fight him next? Yeah, I'll fight him next. I just told him. He said he'll fight me next. Eddie said we'll make it. Let's make it. Let's do it. I'm ready.
So we got Dillian Whyte, him himself, saying he wants that Alexander Povetkin fight, correct? That's what he said. But then he also goes out of his way to go on a Sky Sports boxing interview on January 8th. Let's look at when he posted this, okay? This is from 4 days ago. 4 days ago. So 4 days ago is the 10th. So 2 days prior before that, and you got to remember the fight that it was actually stated, this happened before this. So on the 8th, Dillian Whyte slammed Deontay Wilder for being a coward. You guys just in there, I'm going to rewind it back just so you guys can hear this, okay? Because some of you guys may not have heard what he was saying in this interview. Hey, shout out to Chandler being in the chat. Appreciate you. Eddie Hearn is the promoter of the year, and the year just started. Hearn 2020. Eddie Hearn is in direct competition with Dana White. You heard it here first. And I'm going to do a live stream about that. Eddie Hearn is not in competition with other boxing promoters. He's in competition with combat promoters, period. He wants to be the biggest combat promoter. And right now, Dana White is winning that with UFC. And I feel like Eddie Hearn is trying to take that throne. And he has a chance to do it. But I'm going to play this in case you guys didn't hear this. So here it goes.
Christmas presents. I mean, you've got there Deontay Wilder's WBC belt, sort of identical replica of. So this is to.
It's the same. They just made 2 of them. It's the same. So it's the same belt.
Right. Okay.
Hey, they just made 2 of them.
Why do they make 2? Why do they? I thought it was only just
they
one.
know I should rightfully be WBC.
Right. Okay. Okay. But this is the thing, isn't it? That you are the mandatory challenger. But where are we at in terms of a world title fight being lined up then?
Deontay Wilder's still being a coward and still running as usual. I've been #1 challenger for 800 days. And I'm still #1 challenger. And right, so I fought more top 15 and top 10 opponent than he'd done as a champion. Obviously, decent. He's a good champion. He's got punch powers, which you just see there. But Luis Ortiz is 1,000,000 years old.
Luis Ortiz is 1,000,000 years old, and then they laughed about it. So I'm gonna stop it right there, okay? If you guys want to see the full interview, go to the YouTube channel of Sky Sports Boxing. He just continues basically to slander Deontay Wilder. So does he have a point? That's a question I want to know. Does he have a point for saying what he's saying? Do you think Deontay Wilder is scared to fight Dillian Whyte, or do you think it's all part of the business? What a lot of people won't talk about is the fact that everyone, for the most part, knows it's part of the business. I agree with that. I think Andy Ruiz. I think Andy Ruiz gives Dillian Whyte a hard time. I'll say this though, if Dillian Whyte comes in looking like he looked against Oscar Rivas, Ruiz will have a hard time, because I do think Dillian Whyte has probably one of the best jabs in the heavyweight division when he's on point. That's my opinion. I'm a Dillian Whyte fan, so I actually think that would be if Andy Ruiz comes in on point and if Dillian Whyte comes in on point, I actually think Dillian Whyte could escape that fight on decision. But that's the thing. Dillian Whyte is a lot more inconsistent. Well, to be real with you, Dillian Whyte and Andy Ruiz is both inconsistent when it comes to their training camps. But I think when it comes to watching their performances, Andy Ruiz is much more consistent than Dillian Whyte. I think this is the first time we've seen Andy Ruiz kind of fall off in a sense. But I don't want to get sidetracked. Let's get back to what I was talking about. So Dillian Whyte, does he have a point? Does he have a point? Does he have a right to call Deontay Wilder a coward because he's been mandatory for 800 days? It's interesting that everybody wants to act like the drug testing debacle didn't happen. It happened. You were proven innocent. You were proven innocent. Everyone should know that Dillian Whyte was proven innocent, okay? But at the same time, that still fucked your brand up a little bit, and that puts you in a position now where it's like, look, you got to work your way back up to an extent. Anthony Willis, if Fury fight wasn't happening, then it would have been Whyte. You think? If you want me to be honest with you, if Fury fight wasn't happening, I don't think Wilder would be fighting Whyte, because like I just said, I think people are looking at Whyte from the aspect of, you just had this situation with the whole drug thing. Like, you need to come back, fight a couple fights, and then we can start talking. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how boxing works. If you're not Canelo, that's how it goes. Amora, please don't forget your point about this is part of the business. No one talks about it. I was interested in what you were about to say. Okay. So what I was talking about, this is part of the business no one talks about. I was referring to Dillian Whyte trying to slam Deontay Wilder for not taking him as a fight. When it comes to the business, you don't necessarily look at your mandatory and say, hey, I'm going to fight my mandatory because that's who I have to fight, because let's say the WBC say so. All right, if that's not the biggest money fight at the time, then that means they will overlook it, because you have to understand, whoever is the belt holder, whether it's the WBC, WBO, IBF champion, any of those divisions, you know what I'm saying? I'm leaving out some. They all make money off of whoever their champion is. So the bigger your champion is, everybody in the business profits. The promoter, the team, the TV network, the WBC, they all profit. So if you have someone like an Anthony Joshua, a Deontay Wilder, a Canelo Alvarez, you are going to do everything in your possibility to either A, make the fights that you know will make your star bigger and produce more money, or B, make the fights that may put him in a situation that he can possibly lose his status, but it will be in the benefit of everyone else. And what I mean by that is Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 1 and 2. It's a 50-50 fight, but both sides of their camp, when it comes all the way down to the very minimal point of it, where it's Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder's team, their boys, the people they train with, the gym they're under, all the way to the top level aspect of this, where you have ESPN involved, you have PBC involved, you have Al Heyman involved, you have Bob Arum involved, you also have their promotional team. Deontay Wilder has his own promotion, Tyson Fury has his own promotion. They'll make the most money out of them two fighting, even if one of them loses, more than they'll ever make money with Tyson Fury avoiding, or Deontay Wilder avoiding, any of these mega fights. Hopefully I said that enough clear. You know what I'm talking about. Because a guy like Dillian Whyte, he doesn't generate anything near enough to the point to make Wilder say, hey, okay, you want to fight, let's fight. Same with the WBC at this point, because you have so many more options. If there was less options, you would probably see a Dillian Whyte versus Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? But because there's so many more options in the heavyweight division that you can get so much more money from, you're going to see mandatories either be looked at as like, I'm going to push you to the side, or you're going to see, champions drop their belt. And a lot of people put this to, okay, so more, you do understand. So yeah, so a lot of people try to place this on Al Heyman. A lot of people say because Al Heyman, when he came into the sport and he made it big, his whole priority was to make sure fighters didn't get ripped off anymore. And once fighters stopped getting ripped off, what he basically did was like, look, you can get this contract. You have these 4 fighters. You pick which fighter you feel like is the best for you. And now that's come into now the era we have now, where fighters have more of a choice, have more of a voice. But in my opinion, I think it's a good thing. Some see it as a bad thing. What it's come into now, some could say it's corrupt, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes. No, shout out to Fury, man. Yeah, the fact that he was able to do that, man, that's a testament to his own. That's how he sold the first fight. You see the second fight. I want to talk about this too. I won't get too off topic, but you see the second press conference. If any of you guys watched the press conference, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury 2. Tyson Fury, he was a lot more mellow. He didn't necessarily. He wasn't doing the antics he was the first fight. He wasn't selling the story where, you know, I came off depression, I did this and that, this is why you should vote. He said this fight already sold itself. I don't necessarily believe that. I don't see it getting over 1 million pay-per-view buys, if you want to be honest with you. I may do a live about that later, but what does that particularly mean? But, so, that's probably, I think I've spoken enough when it comes to the situation, when it comes to Dillian Whyte, you know, coming out with the footage, with the, excuse me, the statement saying that Deontay Wilder was knocked out. He's not as good as he says he is. Blah blah blah. Like, let me show you guys this because I want to show you guys this particular interview. So this is from 2017. Now, this isn't the first time Deontay Wilder has heard rumors or has heard people trying to put a knockout in sparring on him. So he's actually addressed this before. He hasn't addressed it this time, and I don't think he should. I think you should just, who gives a fuck? That's how I feel about it. But this is what he said when it was first put out there in the mainstream media. Once again, if you guys are in the chat, I appreciate you guys. Please give a like. It means a lot. It helps the video out a lot. It helps the content. All right, here we go.
So my man called me, right? He said, yo, D. I said, what's up? He said, you heard about the rumors that been going on around about you? I said, what rumors? Who said so? He said, yeah. He said, Johnny. I said, Johnny who? He said, Johnny Nelson. I said, Johnny Nelson? So Johnny got bitch tendencies now too? He said, yep. I said, wow. Wow. It's crazy. So Johnny went around, I guess he had the Holy Ghost spirit inside of him to mention my name, and he said that me and Klitschko sparred on various of occasions. And that, in fact, Klitschko knocked me out cold and dropped me with a body shot. Keep in mind that Klitschko ain't thrown a body shot in 11 damn years. But all of a sudden, yeah.
I'm gonna stop it right here because I was waiting for him to say that. I haven't even. I skipped through this interview, but I've never seen it as full. But that's the first thing I heard when he said that he dropped him with a body shot. I'm like, Klitschko don't throw no damn body shots like that. But let this finish, and I'm gonna address what Anthony Willis said in the chat.
Had to be me, what me? He had to drop in sparring. I've only been to Klitschko camp only one time. And out of that month of sparring, I held my own very, very, very well. Ask about me. I also was the top sparring partner. I did over 50-some plus rounds with him as well too. So all of a sudden, this mysterious.
Alright, so I'm not going to show too much of that. If you guys want to see the rest of the interview, that's from 78 Sports TV. As you can see, he got a lot of subscribers, so obviously you guys should know about him if you guys are big boxing fans. If not, go check out the rest of that interview. Let me address what Anthony Willis said real quick. He said, yeah, they're calling it the biggest fight in this era. If we are to be truthful, Wilder vs. Joshua will be fight of this era. Now, that would do 1 mil. You're exactly right, Willis. Wilder versus, let's be real, Joshua versus Fury or Joshua versus Wilder is much bigger than Wilder versus Fury. Anything with Joshua's name associated with it, and it has to do with the three-headed monster, which is that of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, you're completely correct. Because as many people want to deny it, or as many people want to try and avoid it, Anthony Joshua is the cash cow. He will always be the cash cow as long as he's going to be Eddie Hearn. Because Eddie Hearn, you know what I'm saying, he built that boy up from when he first, you know, when he seen him in the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? So, I do want to address a little bit in this video, because this video, if you guys watch the beginning of my stream, you might hear something from Deontay Whyte, and you'll say, yo, Fluence, you lied to us. You said there was reports that Wilder was working with Klitschko maybe from the years of 2008 all the way up to about 2012. And that's a 4-year period. So were you lying? Look, I can be very honest. I personally don't agree with everything Wilder is saying, and obviously when you're responding to something is, something when it comes to you getting KO'd in sparring, especially to a legend like Klitschko, and you feel like that's not the case, you know what I'm saying, you may either speak it from your own perspective, which may not be 100% accurate, because me personally, I've done the same thing, and I had to be corrected. But I'm still going to stand on my word. From what I've read, Deontay Wilder was in his camp multiple times. But he also said himself he was only with him for a month, so that can all, that could be a play of words. I was with him, I worked with him for only a month, but you can be in his training camp for that month, 4 times out of the 7 days in the week. But I do believe Wilder when he says the KO rumors are somewhat too bullshit, because even though this is from 2017, what Tyson Fury is talking about and what Dillian Whyte is talking about is revolving around this time. Well, not this time, but it was revolving around, let me show you guys, this time, 2012, when he was in training camp with them. Okay? And so, people try to slander his name with these type of rumors before, and he's already responded to them, so I'm going to show you guys that. That's probably the last I'm going to speak about this particular situation. I just want to show you this article. Vladimir Klitschko knocked Deontay Wilder out cold. This is what Dillian Whyte was saying. Let's go ahead. Let me show you the actual quote that he said, so you guys know. So he's basically, Klitschko backs up, changes his footwork, feigning, jabs the body, throws that feint, jab, left hook. Wilder had his hands up, he was gone. It was no knockdown, he was knocked cold, properly twitching as well. This is a sparring session happened too many years ago for it to be useful information about the present. So he's basically saying he got hit to the point where he couldn't get up. Who cares? A lot of people get intimidated by Wilder for things he says and the way he carries himself. I'm not scared of him, Whyte says. Listen, if you're in the same weight division as someone and you're scared of them, go get a job. So Whyte wants this fight. And you got to understand, once again, like I was saying before, Whyte did go through that whole drug debacle. So he has to do everything in his power to build back up his name. Because regardless, even though he was cleared, the boxing fans, promoters, when they look at him, that's the first thing he says. So he has to kind of build up his name to a point where we kind of forget that happened. Big Baby Miller has to do the same thing. And he's probably going to end up doing that with Top Rank, which we're going to get into. So it's 41 minutes in, so I've been talking a little bit too much about the first topic. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. I want to make sure I showed you guys all the videos that I wanted to show you. I did. Once again, remember too, Klitschko does a lot of technical sparring, so it's hard for me to believe that Wilder was just knocked out cold. But that's what he said. This is the last clip I want to show you guys. This is from 2013 when Wilder was back in camp with David Haye. So here you guys go. Don't listen to this bullshit on the little whoever made this video. This shit trying to say Wilder almost KO'd. He wasn't almost KO'd. So this is against some of the other sparring partners that David Haye have. I'm gonna specifically just kind of just pinpoint when he's against Wilder. Don't listen to the bullshit on the bottom. He's talking about, it's crazy that people make videos just to hate. So I'm just going to show you. You guys can see the rest of this. This is from English Rose, whoever that may be. They don't know anything about boxing, so don't take this with a grain of salt. So 2013 sparring with David Haye. All right, guys. So we're going to get the next part of this particular topic, and it's going to be about Andy Ruiz. It's going to be about Big Baby Miller. For the most part. So Anthony Willis, this information means nothing if no one can step in that ring and stop Wilder now. That's my whole entire point. It seems like people have a stigma against Wilder simply because they feel like he doesn't have all the fundamentals of a great boxer. That means he doesn't deserve to be praised. It doesn't even make any type of sense to me that people think that way, because if there's one thing that should be praised, is the fact that he has power. something that is a God-given ability. And the way he utilizes it, the way he uses his jab, the way he plays the big man game. See, a lot of casuals, they think boxing is as simplistic as jab, jab, right hand, left hook, slip, slip, block, use your feet. But there's so many different aspects of boxing, especially when you're talking about the heavyweight division. You have the big man game that can work where you're literally just taking up space, hands up. You can use control, hands out. You can use your jab as control. The Klitschko's were great at this. They learned this from late great Emmanuel Stewart, where you can literally, he said, instead of bringing your jab all the way back, you want to keep your jab out there so you can use your range. There's so many different aspects of the game, but people want to see it as like the only way to box is this particular boxer. It's like, you're not educated if that's what you think. A lot of times when people feel like they're seeing something they don't understand, it's because they're not educated on it. Wilder is very talented. Very talented. He just uses different aspects. The way he boxes, but I feel like no particular way of boxing is orthodox. There's so many different ways to box. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Fighting is global. So, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be taught different ways. But that's just my personal opinion on it. Shout out to Young Zen. Hey, man. 2K out there doing some crazy shit, man. I know how 2K go, man. Wilder is the LeBron of the heavyweight division. Yeah, man, he gets a lot of hate for no reason. A lot of hate for no reason, man. I feel like people should appreciate that. If y'all see this right here, oh, y'all don't see it. I'm going to throw it up there, though. Canelo Alvarez versus BJ Saunders could be announced next week. But as you guys can see in this title right here, Andy Ruiz Jr. is to fight in May or June. Fury offers to help him. I'm going to go ahead and ignore the part where they're talking about Fury because who cares that Fury offers to help him, right? But I think it's important to see that Andy Ruiz Jr. is coming back. Okay, a lot of people, man, when you get in the position that Andy Ruiz was put in, and a lot of people like to say history repeats itself, whether that's true or not. Once history does, in a sense, seem to repeat itself, it's gonna put you in the same aspect as the person who previously did it. So they're putting him in the Buster Douglas category, where Douglas wasn't necessarily nothing, you know what I'm saying? He didn't really do well after that, you know, upset over Mike Tyson. And so they basically looking at Andrew Ruiz like the same time. He didn't train for the Anthony Joshua fight. He did the same thing with Buster Douglas did. So there's no way that you're going to come back and fight. You're probably going to retire. If you don't retire, you're probably going to come back May or June. You're not going to be properly trained, blah, 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 blah. Well, I don't believe that. I see something different in Andy Ruiz Jr. And the thing about Andy Ruiz Jr., he has the possibility of actually shaking up the heavyweight division again, because he poses a lot of problem when trained right against everyone in the heavyweight division, other than maybe like a Deontay Wilder or possibly a Tyson Fury. So a big fight means a lot. And what also means a lot is he's with Al Heyman. So let's see how much Al Heyman believes in him to get him a big fight. Or are they going to put him against a nobody where no one cares to watch him fight? That's going to be interesting. Yeah, that's a good point right there, Zen. He doesn't want to end up like what happened with Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker took too many big fights too early and back to back. Kind of similar to Joseph Parker kind of had the AB effect happen to him. Very similar, same thing. Too many big fights, too young, back to back. Whether, even though you may have won one, you know, in between, the losses were just too monumental for us to forget. And now both AB, Joseph Parker are in positions where they really should be celebrated, or they really should be in, you know, they should be in a place where they can get more accolades, get more belts, but they're not, because, you know what I'm saying, you jumped the gun. You jumped the gun. To this day, I still disagree with the fact that Parker took that fight with Joshua. That Parker versus Joshua fight should never happen. That ruined Joseph Parker's career. And y'all can see now, we're most likely going to see Usyk versus Chisora rather than Usyk versus Parker. They are not going to put together Usyk versus Parker. Hell nah. That is a hard fight for Usyk. But shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate y'all watching. Please give a like or subscribe. It means a lot for the video. What I'm going to do right here, I've already been going for about 48, 49, 50 minutes. I usually stop about 30, 35 minutes in, and I do a little halftime break before I get into the next topics. So I'm going to do that right now. If y'all rocking with me, just stay in the chat just for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit of music. I can vibe out. Tuesday night, Not gonna be a long stream. I'm gonna be right back. What do I want to play right now? I think I want to keep it mellow here. So this is what this is. I'm gonna go over here. We're gonna go ahead and watch a little bit of some early Olympic days from Deontay Wilder. All y'all Deontay Wilder haters, man. He came a long way, right? So I'm gonna be right back, guys. Okay. I appreciate y'all. If y'all are in the chat, please like, subscribe. I know I keep saying it, but it means a lot, especially for you up and coming YouTubers who want more content like this, man. Come on, it means a lot. I'm gonna stop this real quick because I just read Anthony Willis's comment, so I have to comment back to this real quick before I take this little break. I agree with you up to the point where you're saying that Team Parker are wanting to duck Usyk based on the demands. I don't call that a duck. If we kind of go back up to the chat where Amora, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, where they were asking, talk about the business. I don't want you to forget that. This all has to do with the business. Right? If you were Joseph Parker, you already fight Anthony Joshua. Close fight with Anthony Joshua. Much closer than the actual card said. You fight Dillian Whyte. Almost damn near knocked him out if you had one more round. 15 more seconds, right? And then after those two fights, went on to win both of your fights. I know against the two guys that wanted you to beat, you didn't. But still, it was set up for them for Joseph Parker not to win because he wasn't under Matchroom Boxing at the time. He wasn't under Eddie Hearn. He was taking a chance. So if you're Joseph Parker, you're looking at it now. I deserve money. Usyk is coming up from the cruiserweight division. He hasn't fought anyone in the heavyweight division, and you telling me I'm supposed to take a 70-30 split? Okay, I can respect that, Anthony Willis. If you're talking about a business duck too, me personally, I just hate the word duck. Because the first thing I think of when I hear duck is like scared. Like even when I hear a business duck, like I'm thinking like you like business wise, like I'm gonna get away from this negotiation because I may not be able to benefit from it. Like I don't even want to negotiate with the guy because I can't get what I want. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's the case. I think we have to understand from a fighter's perspective for a guy like Joseph Parker. I feel like he deserves much more than a 70-30 split. I'm like, look, I'm a hardcore boxing fan, so I know about Usyk and Joseph Parker, but I feel like if I walked around and I asked people, do you know who Parker or Usyk is? I think we'd get more Parker at the very least, just because Joseph Parker fought AJ. So I'm like, at the least, make it a 60-40 split. But even then, if I was Parker, I wouldn't agree with that. I want a 50-50. If I was Parker, I want a 50-50, if you want me to be 100, because I feel like I deserve that. I fought AJ. Gave him a good fight. I fought Whyte. I almost knocked him out. I haven't lost since those two fights. And now you're going to tell me that I'm supposed to go up against a guy like Usyk, who's coming up from the cruiserweight division. I'm supposed to take a 70-30 split just because I'm not signed with you? Just because that's your fighter, Eddie Hearn? But at the same time, that is how the business goes. So it's like, if you want to bet on yourself as Joseph Parker, you're going to take that, correct? But there's also a certain thing called respect, because if he doesn't win that fight, he's going to be looked at as that fighter for the rest of his life. Not in the ring, but business-wise. All right, you always going to be the guy who's willing to take the low end of the deal and fight. And that's that last thing you want to do. I'm not sure, to be real with you. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it's like that. But you might be right. I'd have to look it up. But I'm not 100% sure. So I'm not even gonna tell you nothing false on that. But I'm like, if you're in a position to negotiate for more, you may not be able to, but you can easily say, all right, well, you know what I'm saying, I don't want the fight. And a lot of times that's what people, equate to ducking. When someone says I don't want the fight, but in reality they don't want the fight just because they're not getting paid what they feel like it's worth. But I'm like, in reality, Usyk doesn't even have a belt. He just, think about that. Usyk went up in weight, and now he's mandatory. He fought one fight against John Witherspoon. He was supposed to fight Carlos Takam. It didn't happen because of an injury. and he fought John Witherspoon, late replacement, and he beat him. Excuse me, not John Witherspoon. I'm forgetting brother's first name, but his last name is like Witherspoon or something like that. But he beat him, and it wasn't even impressive. And now he's a mandatory, and he's in place to either get the Anthony Joshua fight or for the WBO. You know what I'm saying? He's either get the WBO belt, which is why a lot of people are predicting that AJ is either going to drop the WBO belt or the IBF belt. And if he drops the WBO belt, then we have Usyk versus Derek Chisora most likely happening for the WBO belt, and then we'll have a unification fight between Usyk and Anthony Joshua. That's what Eddie Hearn wants. That's what he wants. Now, if he gets it, that's the question. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to you, Anthony Willis. Great questions, man. Real knowledgeable. I'm gonna be right back. You had me stay here a little bit longer. I'm gonna be right back, like 3 minutes, man. 3 minutes to everybody. Please stay in the chat. If you don't stay in the chat before you leave, drop a like. It means a lot, or subscribe. It means a lot. It helps the page. But if you guys are interested in the second part of what I'm going to be talking about, we're going to get more into Andy Ruiz Jr.'s comeback, who we would like to see him fight, and then we're going to also talk about Big Baby Miller signing with Top Rank on a multi-fight deal. The second half is going to be much shorter than the first half, but either way, if you're interested in what I'm talking about, please stay. Once again, throw a like, throw a subscribe. It means a lot. I'll be right back in a couple minutes. Shout out to y'all.
Black Goose family, I ain't know what it is. Influence, you know what I'm saying? To the dad, you heard me? So what I need to do, oh my goodness. The way you see me, no one else really see me. The way I need you, no one else don't need you. The way I wave it, no one else can really beat me. The way I love you, no one else gonna love you. Baby, I just want you. Baby, I need you. It's touch I really need to. Baby, nothing see through. I'ma show you what you want. Give it to you, that's how you do. This ain't about the sense, it's about you. Baby, I just really want you. I wanna show you how I can really love you. Yeah. I wanna show you I just really wanna fall. Yeah. I know it seems like ain't nothing seems right, but what you see right. So let me tell you, love you now, touch you now, fuck you now, yeah. Want you now, hold you down, want you now, yeah. Love you now, touch you now, fuck you now, yeah. Want you now, hold you down, want you now, yeah. Love you right now, you right now, you right now, yeah. Love you right now, you right now, you right now, yeah. Love you right now, you right now, you right now, yeah. Love you right now, you right now.
Alright, so I'm back. I told y'all I wasn't going to be long. So I see Anthony Willis. He said some very interesting things. Special dispensation for unified champion stepping up. You're completely right. We saw the same thing with Tony Bellew. We've seen it many times. That's the first thing that came to my mind, though. He slotted cruiserweight division. You absolutely right. I can't disagree with that. So you're arguing that he deserves it. You're arguing that because of what he did at the cruiserweight division, he deserved to be made mandatory after one fight, even though he necessarily didn't fight anyone in the heavyweight division. Now, if we're going off the history of boxing, yes. I can't argue that point, because off the history of boxing, that is correct. We've seen it many a times. Someone who's done great things in the division below, when he steps up, he is allowed to have either a chance at the belt right away, or he has one fight prior to that and he has a chance at the belt. So you're correct. But can I argue that since Usyk didn't necessarily fight, since Usyk didn't fight who we expected him to fight, we deserve at least an eye test of how he's going to look at the heavyweight division, which essentially we're supposed to get. Right? This is me talking, in a sense, all this shit before Usyk has his fight against either Derek Chisora or Joseph Parker, because it's going to happen. Usyk will not be fighting Anthony Joshua next. He's not. That's even though they're saying Usyk is the mandatory, and they're also saying that Pulev is the mandatory. I do not believe we're going to see Usyk for Joshua next. It just doesn't make sense. So once Usyk does fight either Parker or Chisora, even though I want to see Parker more because that's going to be a tougher fight for Usyk, even if he beats Chisora, I won't talk no more shit, because you're completely right. It's just, for me, I want to see him fight someone. Like, if he would have fought Takam and we would have beat him, I wouldn't be talking any of this. But since it was Witherspoon, it's like, yo, like, I need to see something, and it's not fair that you're just all of a sudden elevated to mandatory, especially when there's so many deserving names in the heavyweight division. Because let's not act like the heavyweight division isn't stacked to a sense. I'm like, this is the most, you know what I'm saying, hyped we've seen or stacked, you could say, when it comes to heavyweight division in a long time, at least in the last, like, you know, decade, since we are in a new decade now. But that would be how I feel. Yeah, you're completely right, Willis. But I'm like, most times, that's what, when we're looking at the situation like Usyk, that's most times what the title fights usually are. At least to try to be an easy grab. That's what they want for the most part. But I think in this particular aspect, since Usyk is, if I am correct, he's under matchroom boxing the same way Anthony Joshua. Eddie Hearn understands how big Usyk is overseas. He understands how big Anthony Joshua is. So he knows this will be a much bigger fight if both of them are holding the belt rather than if only one of them is, right? And also he knows it's going to be a much bigger fight. Excuse me. If Usyk does fight a solidified contender in the heavyweight division, or at least someone who's known, prominent over in the UK area, like a Derek Chisora, like, it makes, if you're looking at business wise, it makes more sense to see Chisora versus Usyk than it does Usyk versus Parker. Because Chisora versus Usyk sells more tickets, and if Usyk beats Chisora, it gets him his brand built more over in the UK, which that's where you want it to be. In comparison to Joseph Parker, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I do believe Parker is an odd man out in this situation, even though he does want that fight. So that's my opinion, man. But I came back because we wanted to get into part 2. Of this stream. Shout out to everybody who's been rocking with me for the majority of this stream. It means a lot. Throw a like if you haven't already. I've been saying the same thing, so I'm not going to repeat it. I'm going to keep it at right there. So the second part of the stream, I've talked about it a little bit before I left. Andy Ruiz Jr., he's returning, guys. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but he's going to be returning. Anyone, you know what I'm saying, Zen told me himself he saw some reports where there's a possibility Andy Ruiz Jr. might be retiring. Well, it's not happening. He's going to be coming back. Fury himself offered to help him. I would advise Andy Ruiz to come to Las Vegas to train with me, and I'll get his titles back to Fury the Boxing Media. Yeah, I've been there and done it before. I've been in the same position. You win some, you lose some, you go out and party and then come home. The main thing you realize is that boxing is the most important thing to you in your life. So I don't know how much of a honest, like, I don't know if he really meant that, right? He might have just been talking shit in a sense, or he might have been a little sarcastic about it, but I think from the bottom of his heart, he really knew where Andy Ruiz was coming from. But I'm happy to hear that Andy Ruiz is coming back. I want to go ahead and show this right here. Andy Ruiz Jr. asks who to fight this year. Hearn says Dillian Whyte. So this goes into the statement that was made earlier by Willis, if I am correct. And we are talking about the fact that there was more money from Eddie Hearn offered to Ruiz. They want this fight. Dillian Whyte, Ruiz Jr. The fans want to see it. I want to see it. I don't want to see Dillian Whyte versus Povetkin. I don't want to see Ruiz Jr. versus... Who could Ruiz Jr. possibly fight? What do you guys think? Let's go to... What do you guys think, huh? because Dominic Breazeale versus Adam Kawanaki is set up. Maybe we can see Andy Ruiz versus maybe like a guy like Brian Jennings. You guys know Joe Joyce is with PBC, but they're saying Joe Joyce is possibly in negotiations with Daniel Dubois right now. With Joe Joyce versus Andy Ruiz Jr. actually makes a lot more sense. But there's a lot of speculation. Who's someone Andy Ruiz Jr. could fight? I agree. That's why I think Andy Ruiz is not done yet. I agree with you, Willis. Willis said, absolutely, I think when Fury won titles, he lost focus of the journey ahead and keeping motivated. I agree. The same thing happened with Andy Ruiz Jr. Like I said earlier, people always want to say that history repeats itself. In a sense, it does. But the way people react to it is always different, in my opinion. And I don't think Andy Ruiz, I think he's going to come back even stronger. Because Ruiz showed him, like, his only 2 losses are against AJ and Parker. The Parker one is debatable. And the one against Joshua, apparently he didn't train for. So Ruiz has a talent. His name is out there now. Now it's going to be important who he fights next. He can't just take anyone. I like maybe a David Allen. Maybe a Ruiz versus Joseph Parker too. Huh? Ruiz versus Oscar Rivas. Oscar Rivas is with PBC. That's a possibility. Luis Ortiz versus Andy Ruiz. What about that? They're both with PBC. What do you guys think about that fight? So that's really the problem right now when it comes to Andy Ruiz Jr. He wants to come back in May, but who's the best option? Dillian Whyte is the fight I would want to most see, but the fight that would probably be less likely to happen. Simply because Dillian Whyte is with Matchroom and Andy Ruiz with PBC. I see his next fight being under PBC and with PBC. Whyte versus Luis Ortiz. That's going to be a hard fight to make. Whyte doesn't want to fight Ortiz simply because he has nothing to gain from beating Ortiz. It doesn't do anything for him because Whyte is the mandatory and Ortiz has already fought Wilder twice. So even if Whyte beats Ortiz, it doesn't really do nothing for him. So you won't see Whyte calling out Ortiz anytime soon. You'll probably just see him calling him old, unfortunately. But that's how the game goes. I think I'm liking that one. I think I would like to see Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz. That would be the fight to make. Now, it may be too quick of a turnaround for Luis Ortiz. June won it. I don't think. But May. Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Luis Ortiz. I like that. Everyone in the chat room, I appreciate y'all. Keep throwing y'all comments. If you are watching this, please throw a like or subscribe. It means a lot. But Andy Ruiz versus Luis Ortiz, that's a good fight. I also like Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Joe Joyce. I don't want to see that. I want to see Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Oscar Rivas. There's options. A lot of options. It'll be interesting. Please do not pick someone we don't want to see. That's all I'm asking. So let me go out. I'm going to read this quote from Eddie Hearn real quick for y'all. That was on Andy. I'll show y'all right now off his Instagram. Here we go. He's still stunning like a boss. He's still out here like, I'll never try fitting in. I was born to stand out. At Fashion Over Men. Look at that. Just a kid with a dream. So I'm like, he's still out here, big things. fighting next, y'all? Y'all gotta let me know, man.
And Ruiz got a legitimate,
But I did blacked out where they hit in my forehead, like right in my forehead, boom, and I just turned black, and then boom, you're like back to back.
Tyson Fury, the fight that you want.
Gets the position he wants.
heavyweight champion of the world.
Damn, that's crazy.
Like I said, it only
So fast.
With the rematch December 7th in Saudi Arabia, and we have to see who wins that fight. But they're all talking about each other, right? There's a chance that all three can make some sort of case. But now Deontay's
Of course, that nigga gonna come all day, anything, anytime, anywhere.
Did Deontay well?
Baby.
Does he want that smoke? Do he want that smoke? You seen the way he was looking when Whyte hit him with that dang right there, man. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna show y'all one more thing.
Yeah, it was nice, man. Just
Walmart.
having to bless a few families, you know. When I didn't have no money for diapers, wipes, and I got 5 kids, you know, and I felt it. So I was trying to look, out of all the lines, I tried to look for the people that had kids, and especially diapers and wipes, because that's something that was hard, you know. There's stuff that I couldn't buy clothes or nothing because I had to put myself in, I had to give my kids the responsibility, you know, the stuff that I needed to do. But yeah, let's go watch the fight.
So I'm like, man, his build, I don't think we've seen that before, man. Off the top of my head, this is spot on. So I'm like, I'm trying to think. What would you say about Big Baby? Oh man, you know what? Shout out to you, Willis, especially since you rocking with us. Hey man, shout out to you. This is a great transition into the last topic of the motherfucking night. Big Baby Miller, this man right here, y'all, he's back. Now I'm gonna go into this segment saying caution, be warned. I am very biased when it comes to Big Baby Miller. This is one of my favorite fighters right here. Top 10 to be exact. While I heard they say I'm signing with Top Rank in ESPN, not sure about all that, as well as making my return on Fury Wilder card to come. Looks like lunch food right now. People? I'm not sure about all that. Hey, y'all, if y'all in the chat right now, breaking motherfucking news. If y'all don't follow Big Baby on Instagram, are we going to see Big Baby Miller versus Carlos to come on the undercard of Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 2, y'all? Yo, how y'all feel about that? How y'all feel about that? I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I can't wait to see Big Baby back. You talking about, have we ever seen a dude built like Andy Ruiz with that hand speed, throw like that? I'm looking at that man right now. And he just so happens to be 6'4", 300 pounds, and love cheeseburgers. But you know, some people may think I'm tripping. Some people don't like Big Baby like that. I'm a Big Baby fan, man. Coming back with a vengeance is an understatement. Hungry, determined, and can't wait to get back in the ring. Took a while to get with the big unk, but it's official now. The power card. Say what's up to my manager. So how y'all feel about that? Jay Prince, the music mogul, he signed Big Baby to management, to his management, and then Big Baby got a Top Rank deal. Oh, Big Baby didn't get no Top Rank deal. What you talking about? Jarrell, Big Baby Miller, and Top Rank verbally agreed to multi-fight terms. Multi-fight terms. That's either 2 or more. Miller can throw him fast, man. Let me do this. Let's go with this YouTube game. Y'all see the Jarrell Hurd there, man. I'm a Jarrell Hurd fan too, man. Jarrell Hurd, one of my favorite boxers. That's why I'm very interested in the Julian Williams fight that's coming up. I like this. I always like to find the videos that don't really have that much views on it. It's coming from Boxing Insider. Y'all check it out. right off the bat, you can see this is more him. So he's working on the precision of it. No, Big Baby Miller isn't as fast as Andy Ruiz. All right, Anthony Willis is definitely Anthony Willis is definitely right when it comes to Ruiz probably being the fastest at his weight. But the thing about Big Baby Miller, I never really like to watch him train, but when he's actually in the ring and what he can do in the ring is a lot more impressive. Because you have to remember before. Now that would be hilarious. Big Baby Miller and Tyson Fury in a press conference would be crazy. That's why I'm like, man, this means a lot right here. Him being with Top Rank, that means a lot. Cause I'm like, if y'all don't know, there was speculation before Tyson Fury got that cut over his eye. He was supposed to fight Big Baby before the end of the year, and Big Baby was supposed to sign with Top Rank before the end of last year. But it ended up getting pushed to here. So, and remember, Tyson Fury said he has 3 fights left. So we're thinking Deontay, Wilder, Anthony Joshua, possibly Big Baby Miller. That's a possibility. So, nah, Big Baby Miller definitely. He's not as fast as Andy Ruiz in no type of way. But remember before Big Baby Miller, you know what I'm saying, he had the whole drug thing that happened. He was the only heavyweight. He was throwing the most punches per round, and he was landing the most punches per round. He was basically, the amount of punches he was throwing per round was the same. It lined up with the same amount as like a light heavyweight or a super middleweight would throw. Even a middleweight. You see the trainer right there? He was like, hey, don't keep your hands down. Y'all gonna see it in a minute. I love that. I love that right there. That's how you know you got a good trainer. He was like, I can tell you relax, you enjoying the mid work, but you can't be relaxed to the point where you disrespected the fundamentals. He made sure he said, hey man, you gotta keep that hand up. I can smack you with that left hand all day. Oh yeah, man, definitely, man. Big Baby Miller, before the whole drug situation, he was the highest heavyweight punch output. You feel me? So punch output and punches landed per round. So that's why that was going to be a very hard fight for Joshua. I might pull something up on him again. I want to ask you guys this too. Are you guys interested in hearing? Did you guys hear the explanation that Big Baby had on the reason why he got popped? Are any of you guys interested in hearing it? I would like to go through the interview if you guys want to hear it. That he said it about, because I feel like where he did the interview, not many boxing fans probably heard what he had to say. Not fuck. Leave in the comment section too, please. You know what I'm saying? Keep giving your opinion. Also, if you're watching, please give a like. It means a lot. So I'm gonna show a little bit more of this. A Big Baby Miller in the midst. Once again, he signed with Top Rank, verbal agreement, 2 or more fight deal. We're not sure the specifics, but it's a verbal agreement. We've been known about this since maybe about November, December of last year, but this is the first time it's been actually aired the way it is. Look, you see his trainer ain't playing with him. His trainer keeps saying, every time I throw that left hook, you being lazy, I'm catching you. But Big Baby's a big deal. Okay, Anthony Willis, I'm gonna move over to that interview then. I'm gonna show this a couple more minutes of this because I like this. I like this pad work. You can tell in this particular instance, his trainer wants him to be more, just a little bit more respectful of the sport. He wants him to be a little bit more technical, fundamental. But Big Baby's, he's like, man, I'm relaxed right now, man. I ain't putting my hands up. And sometimes you have that between fighters and their trainers. Sometimes trainers want you to be technical all the time, or sometimes trainers want you to do certain things that maybe to them feel comfortable, but to the actual fighter, it isn't comfortable. Like if I like to come down and throw a 1-1-2, maybe block 3-2, block 2-3, come under and then go to the body, but then instead of a block, maybe he wants me to slip. I'm gonna be like, I want to slip right there. I'd rather put up You know what I'm saying? I'd rather catch it with my block here and then return rather than, you know, slipping and then maybe rolling under and then returning. So that happens. Tevin Farmer spoke on this. If you guys didn't see my live stream from yesterday, Tevin Farmer spoke on that. Go check out his YouTube channel. He spoke on that same thing where constantly him and his trainers are always getting into it, because he says when he gets to a certain point in his IQ, if you aren't telling your trainer what you feel comfortable and what you think you would do, then, you know what I'm saying, you ain't there yet. That's his opinion, of course, but so that's good technical drilling. That's coming from Boxing Insider, the YouTube channel. So go ahead and subscribe to him. Shout out to him for that. A lot of people don't do enough footage on Big Baby Miller. If you guys are in the chat, please give me a like. Please give me a subscribe. If you guys are enjoying the footage, drop your comments in the chat room. I want to know you guys' opinion on everything, man. It makes it a lot more fun. So Anthony Willis suggested it. Anthony Willis wanted it. Let's go to the Jarrell Miller and Mike Rashid interview. Okay, here it goes, right here. So what I'm gonna do, you can see I already uploaded this interview because I watched it.
What's up, everybody?
And the first thing I want to point out when it comes to this particular interview, the initial reaction of what happened, like when motherfuckers can put you in a place where they can ridicule you, embarrass you, that's always the biggest story. But when it comes to actually hearing about what actually went on, the truth behind the situation, this isn't 100% the truth. There's three sides to every story. There's Big Baby's side, there's Vada's side, and then there's the truth. Because Vada hasn't been 100% truthful in everything they've done with. If you guys know about Eddie Hearn, Usyk was originally supposed to fight Tyrone Spong before he fight Witherspoon. For some reason, Eddie Hearn said Tyrone Spong got a pop test. Tyrone Spong posted the results on his Instagram. It shows in his Instagram he never got popped. He never had any type of negative. So, you know, there's all type of politics when it comes to this, but I feel like this particular interview should have so much more views because Big Baby Miller explains himself and he says why or what particularly happened. Now I'm gonna skip forward because I can't play the whole interview. I don't want to get flagged or anything like that. So if you guys want to watch the whole interview, this is on Mike Rashid's channel. The only person to actually interview and ask him sincerely about what happened has to be basically a YouTube fitness guy. That's how fucked up the boxing game is and the politics is. So I'm gonna play a little bit. I'm gonna do snippets to try and make sure we don't get blocked or we don't get any type of flags. Okay.
Got good cardio. Always come forward and, like I said,
right people keep you away from anything that can even be looked at is banned or anything like that.
Correct.
So this is, I should have stepped up more as a friend and pressed the issue. You know what I'm saying? But this is a learning experience.
Yeah, facts,
and look, bro, we all go through shit. You know what I'm saying? And I know people in the comments gonna talk shit like, you're right, fuck them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because
as usual.
this is the thing. This is what I love about life. Experience.
Stop it right there real quick. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. We want to listen from Big Baby, okay? Shout out to Mike Rashid. I've been following his channel for a long time, but we want to hear from Big Baby.
Hearn said that
he's still talking. Hold on now. We're gonna hear from Big Baby, okay? Maybe that's why it has that many views, man. 8 minutes in and Mike Rashid is still talking. We want to hear from Big Baby. All right, here we go. Big Baby.
Prince of Charles, whatever. They gonna, oh my God, he's talking shit about AJ. But like, yeah, man, like that's how I am. You know what I mean? I can't be. I'm not a goody two shoe like him. You know what I mean? Right. That's Eddie's golden goose too. So he gonna do what he gotta do to try and protect him.
Yeah.
You know?
He's the golden boy, and I get it. But it's got to be that adversarial type of energy.
You gotta.
Or it's boring. You don't want people. Everybody. I hate seeing guys slapping high five in between every round.
No, I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing all that.
End of the fight, we can go out.
Yeah, I'm there.
It's war.
I'm trying to knock your block off.
And that's the thing with like boxing here in America, right? It's like,
I mean, not a role model, not playing a role. So,
exactly.
You know what I mean? So
I'm want to give you guys the exclusive. I want to give you when he's talking about what happened, okay? And you can see, you know, they're having a little dialogue. It's a little bit more in the middle, so give me a little second, because it's a spur of the moment. If I would have had this ready and I was thinking I was gonna show this interview, I'd have it ready for you guys. So just go ahead and bear with me a little bit, okay?
Men, they're all people, right?
With Deontay, their schedule kind of laid out for him to build his reputation in America, to make the Tyson versus Deontay fight, you know. And I heard it from, you know, from Basel and Mount, you know, they don't want no hiccups right now.
Right, I got you.
And fighting me right now is going to cause
So what is? How do you rate? I'm gonna throw some names at you. I
appreciate
that. Question for you: do you think Andy Ruiz is just better than Joshua?
There's a specific point in this video where he talks about
like if this
what happened.
The amount of money that changes lives is on the line. People are going to look for any advantage they can. So if you get caught, you get caught. You gotta face the consequences. Right. But here's the thing: all you motherfuckers out there taking this moral high ground, knock it off. Y'all would be running to the juice man. You know what I'm saying? And you can't really knock somebody. Not saying Big Baby did it. I know he didn't. I know his situation.
Definitely took it harder than I did. But like I said, man, I'm back in the gym. I'm back to the grind, and I'm working on many different projects.
Here's the thing, like when I heard the announcement, I was happy for you. You know, of course, I'm happy for you. I always believed in you, still do. And when I seen you was doing camp in Florida, I was like, I want him to come to Cali. I didn't press the issue, because you know everybody's busy and shit, and I knew you. I didn't know.
Hey, if we get flagged, we get flagged. I'm just gonna go ahead and rock this entire interview. I'm not gonna do the whole 34 minutes, but it's somewhere in between right here. It's because I'm not ready, but I want you guys to hear this because it's important what he says.
How comfortable you were training there versus in Cali or whatever, but my mind, I would have made sure you're insulated and isolated with the best of the best people. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, you've been to the office, I got smart people around, very ethical people. So whatever it is that you need, you felt you need, injury, whatever, I was gonna personally make sure the right people keep you away from anything that can even be looked at is banned or anything like that.
Correct.
So I should have stepped up more as a friend and pressed the issue. You know what I'm saying? But this is a learning experience.
Facts.
Look, bro, we all go through shit. You know what I'm saying? And I know people in the comments gonna talk shit like, you're right, fuck them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because
as usual.
This is the thing. This is what I love about life, experience of mine personally. You know, when I had a situation where my gym, you know, my old partner was doing illegal shit, and then people were like, oh, see, Mike Rashid had nothing to do with it, but they talk all the shit in the world.
Right.
If you guys don't know about Mike Rashid, there was a situation where a couple years back, one of the gyms he was endorsing, it got popped for steroids. A lot of people put Mike Rashid under that same aspect, saying it was only a matter of time before he got popped as well. But you see, he's still out here thriving.
You know, it upset me, but I had confidence in the fact that when the dust settles, you'll see I'm still here.
Correct.
Nothing wrong.
Correct.
And that's the same situation
Same exact thing, because people asking the question like, oh, I guess he must have been on stuff the whole entire time. He had a good stamina. Like, I guess is what it was. But if you watch any one of my fights, even as an amateur, I've always had good stamina, always had good cardio, always come forward. And like I said, what was taken was never an anabolic. There's many countless other fighters that have been called for anabolics, and I'm not
literally
anabolic steroids, and I'm not gonna throw them under the bus. But a lot of them are from England, a lot of them are from America, a lot of them are on camera now talking about my situation, you know. But I said before, you know, it is what it is. You're always gonna have haters no matter what you do. If you're winning, you're winning. You lose, you're always gonna talk junk. You know what I mean?
I want to address something that Eddie Hearn said that kind of irritated me.
Yeah.
So he was like, you know, right after, you know, he was so disgusted with you, like it's despicable, whatever. And then he said something to the effect of you not being enrolled in WBC, right? And sometimes people say, you know, oh, because WBC got the strictest, for y'all don't know, WBC is a sanctioning body. It's a very prestigious belt, the Ali belt, the green belt, and every other sanctioning body kind of follows what WBC says. But WBC got really legit strict drug testing protocols, and not everybody's in it. maybe somebody smoked weed or whatever. It could be anything, but it's not everybody's rolling it. But he was making that as a point, like, see, he must have been on stuff because he's not enrolled. But the irony of it is, if he's using that logic, then that means your guy, AJ, is not enrolled. And if you're the champion of all these other sanctioning bodies, why would you not be enrolled? Why are you not ranked in the WBC? I always looked at that, and then and listen, I have nothing against AJ. I know you want to rip his head off, but I like AJ. I think he's a cool ass dude. I like how he carries himself.
He was going to be a lot different. It's going to be a totally different fighter. And it's just how to...
All right, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that right there. I don't want to play too much of it. I was trying to find a particular section of the interview where Big Baby actually talks about what he got popped for. It's somewhere in this interview because I watched this interview and this is where I got it from. So y'all go ahead if y'all want to hear it personally. Go to Mike Rashid's channel. This is from June 20th, 2019. If you guys want to hear it, I may end up doing another live just to show y'all so I can be right. But I'm not going to play the whole thing because in a sense it is a long-winded interview. So I do understand to a sense why there's not too many views, because we actually don't get to the meat and the real reason why we're watching this until probably about the middle. But I'm not going to put all of y'all through that. But I will tell you what he said. He basically said he was having elbow problems and he was having shoulder problems from his last fight before he fought Anthony Joshua, okay? And he himself personally, he didn't want to have any surgery. He didn't want to have any extensive work done on the pain he was feeling. And when he went to the doctor told him, look, you can either have surgery and you cannot fight Anthony Joshua, or I can give you this cortisone shot, or I can give you this stem cell shot and you would be good to go. Big Baby Miller elected to take the stem cell shot, not knowing, if you guys remember what he got popped for, was HGH. It was also some type of SARM, and if I remember right, it was the same thing that TJ Dillashaw got popped for, the cardio drug. Damn, it's throwing right out of my mind right now. But it was the same thing. It was 3 different type of drugs. And what Big Baby Miller was basically saying was that all those 3 drugs, they all had some type of play in that particular stem cell shot that he had in his elbow, and he had it from his shoulder. He said, I wish at the time, and also another thing that he said too was the fact that he always has done his own camps, put his own money into his own team, rocked with himself. He's never had no major promotion behind him. He's never been under a PVC, Top Rank, Matchroom Sports, and nothing like that. It's always been Big Baby Miller Promotions. So because of that, he just believed what the doctor told him was facts and that nothing was in it that would, put him in the position that he was in now. And so that's basically what came from it. That's what he was saying in this interview. And if you guys don't believe me, please go and check this interview out. If this wasn't a spur of a moment thing, I would already have it ready for you guys and I would show it. But I'm not about to go and search through, the whole 34-minute clip to find it for you guys. Simply because, y'all gonna be bored. Y'all gonna be like, what the fuck you doing? So that's essentially the whole summary of him explaining why he got popped. It was from a stem cell shot from a doctor that told him, hey, your elbow's hurting. You can either get surgery, not fight Anthony Joshua, or I can give you the stem cell shot and you can fight Joshua. And he chose the stem cell shot, and that's where the steroids were found. So that's the story behind Big Baby Miller, right? At least his side of the story, all right? So you guys know the mainstream media side of the story. You know what the people talk side of the story, but that's Big Baby Miller's side of the story. If you guys don't know, once again, go to Mike Rashid's channel to hear it from himself. But he will be signing with Top Rank, a multi-fight year deal. Obviously, it's going to be more than 2 fights. In my opinion, I think it's going to be 4 fights. So that's something to be excited about. So yeah, guys, I don't want to make this too long-winded. It's already 10 o'clock. It's pretty late. I appreciate everybody who was in the chat. I don't really have much more to say. What I can do is maybe I can look at a couple of the Instagrams that I have posted up that I didn't actually show you guys. You can check that out. But this is the end of the live right here. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. Once again, if you guys want to hear any of the music, go to soundcloud.com/BlakGooseTV. Facebook.com/BlakGoose is our Facebook. And I won't tell you that I do lives like these every night, but anytime I do the lives, please hop in it. I appreciate any of the talk when it comes to boxing. We keep it strictly boxing. Shout out to you, Anthony Willis. Shout out to Young Zen. Shout out to Amora. And then also shout out to Michael Johnson Boxing Talk. I appreciate you guys joining in on the chat. It means a lot. I have a new topic for you guys very soon, but I'm going to go ahead and right up out of here. I'm going to show a couple of clips. Before I leave, please give a like. Please give a subscribe. Let's check some things out.
Underneath it, get back in the center as King Kong.
That look nasty. Barry, please drop a like, drop a subscribe. We're gonna have a lot more of these, man. I enjoy them.
Hi, this is Tyson Fury. Just a quick update to everybody. I've been inundated with people asking for tickets and can I get on all the tickets and whatever. I've been allocated 8 tickets for this fight myself. I have no control on tickets. I have no input on tickets. I have nothing to do with tickets. Anybody wanting tickets, go online or do whatever you can to get them, because I have none. I have none for myself. I've been given 8 tickets. I have to buy. I need 50 tickets that I've got to pay for myself. So anybody wanting tickets, don't ask me, don't contact me about tickets. Thank you very much and good night.
Please drop a like, drop a subscribe. It means a lot.
It's a brutal training session and I'm going to put it all back in me again with Wild Hydrate protein, 97 calories a bottle, sugar free, 20 grams of protein. Just what I need after a workout, immense workout. Try it.
I'm training here, wild and soccer. Pop up. Don't be sleeping on me, boy. Because you can't eat what you can't see. Pussy. Couldn't finish me last time. Boom.
Hey, you good, Anthony, man. You good, man. Definitely subscribe to Mike Rashid's channel, or just go to Mike Rashid's channel. The video's on like the June 20th when it comes out. And you'll be able to watch it. You'll hear his side point, or you can watch it back. I couldn't actually find the particular time where he said it, and I didn't want to waste y'all guys' time. So if you want to hear from Big Baby Miller himself, watch it on Mike Rashid. If you want to hear me just explain what he said, yeah, just watch the video back. But shout out to you, Anthony Willis, man. You really made it poppin', man. This is the end of the stream. I'm just going through a little bit of some bullshit right here.
What up, IG? It's your boy Big Baby. First of all this Chisora talk about fighting is all BS. That's number one. We all know Eddie Hearn's still in his feelings right now, so that deal is not happening. So Chisora, on whatever he's saying about he offered me a fight and a contract, whatever he's talking about, it's all bullshit. He's just trying to blow smoke and trying to make himself whatever the hell it is. Either way, there's no offer never been made for Chisora. There's nothing. So stop calling my name, bro. Because I will retire your ugly ass for the 4th and final time. I don't know. I think he's been punch drunk since he fought Tyson Fury, because he used to be reckless. Like, this is extra. Don't get beat the fuck up. Literally.
Willis, who I got for the rematch between Wilder versus Fury. I I don't want to give it out right now. I don't want to give out like yo, this is what I'm standing on. I am leaning toward Deontay Wilder because Deontay Wilder has shown to be absolutely magnificent in his rematches. But if you want to like, yo, this is who you picking, this is who you got, and I'm gonna stand firm on it, I don't got it right now. But I am leaning toward Wilder right now. I do think Wilder is going to make the right adjustments, and he has more room to improve than Fury does. There's a reason why Fury changed up his trainers, because he understands the same thing. If you have the IQ level of Fury, you understand that there's more Deontay Wilder can improve on than Fury. So Fury just has to make sure he's the sharpest he's ever been. No mistakes, no mishaps, no fuck ups, nothing.
98 made this shit.
Out here lifting session with Carlos Boozer, man. Carlos Boozer, what, 6'9"? Big baby looking massive. Jesus. Y'all don't want to fight this man right here. Big baby, look, big baby looking over here, looking bigger than Carlos Boozer. God damn. What, he 342 right there? Jesus Christ. They don't want to fight Big Baby, man. Look at him, man. Look at him, man. Look at this guy. Like Photoshop. Yup. This is Wilder's game, man. I agree with you, Anthony Willis, man. Wilder, man, he's better in the rematches because he has that power. He has that right hand. His jab is only getting better, and his jab all his jab is just it just measures distance. And back. BlakGooseTV, man.
You say hello to the bad guy. Y'all live with so many rats. I pie with a fake. Badass little motherfucker far from a saint. I learned how to box, so I stay in the bank. Brooklyn, where these niggas wanna hate. So when I move around, man, I know how to fake. Most of these boxing niggas is full of shit. One nigga mad cause I fucked this bitch. Ha ha, you can suck my dick. Back on my bully shit. Drug dealer now, cat dealer now. Never was a squealer now. Y'all niggas 6'9", but y'all dick ride. Y'all running with feds? Okay, I don't get mad, I get glad. Chop his body up, send a gift back. I bagged that, your girl blow good in the Iraq. You get that? Ha ha ha. Big baby is back.
I see you, Big Baby. I'm not even gonna be no type of way. That shit was weak, but I see you, Big Baby. That shit was hella weak. I already killed that beat. That shit was mad whack. Bye, y'all. That's the end of this, man. I'm gonna show y'all this right here just to show the speed.